Hey, true believers, Englentine here. So this popped up again. Basically, it's the same story, except for, instead of Superman, it's Batman now. Starting to believe that the left, and by that I don't mean liberal, I mean the far left, of course, is afraid of black characters. Seriously. They never say, hey, let's promote a new black character or anything like that. They say, let's make the white one black. Anyway, this goes on to say, with rumors appearing recently that Louis Tan was cast as Batman on DC Universe's Titans, debate began to stir online over whether or not a non-white person could play Bruce Wayne, Batman, whatever. It was very similar to the discussion to the one that occurred when it was rumored that Michael B. Jordan was being courted for the role of Superman after Henry Cavill was reported to be departing the DC Cinematic Universe. I did a video on that, and on that video I said what I believe now. Even Michael B. Jordan is on the short list to play anything. If they made a Mr. Magoo movie tomorrow, Michael B. Jordan's name will be up there. He's the hot ticket right now. So yeah, doesn't matter what the role is going to be. Michael B. Jordan's name is going to be mentioned for that. It doesn't mean anything. It's just he's really hot right now. As expected, this new argument has brought forth vocal fans who don't want DC to tinker with tradition depiction of Bruce being a white philanthropist, the same character we've known since 1939's Detective Comics number 27, and the plethora of comics, cartoons, animated films, video games, and live-action movies. Since there are actually many solid reasons why Titans, at the very least, could have been a fertile testing ground for such a change to a major superhero. After all, ethnicity doesn't really matter as long as the character is done justice. Does it? Why not? Now, this is where they pretend that it's going to be an analysis, and that's what it set out to be. That's what it was originally going to be. And in order to do that, you would have to look at the pros and the cons, but I promise you, what you're about to see is none of that. As a matter of fact, it doesn't talk about, well, the pros would be this, the cons would be that, and as a matter of fact, there are no pros. Okay, you get to virtue signal. Congratulations, but there is nothing that's going to make the character better just because you put a black person in it, or a Chinese, or Latino, or anybody who's not white. And the only con is that it throws it kind of throws out 80 years worth of continuity, meaning Bruce Wayne is Bruce Wayne. And of course, the duplicity lies in the fact that they will say, "Well, he's just an imaginary character. Anybody can do it." And I know anybody can do it. I've actually said Idris Elba as Batman would be awesome. That being said, it isn't Bruce Wayne. It isn't who he is. And you can be you'll be decried as a racist if you point that out. At the same time, they're saying it's just an imaginary character, it shouldn't matter. They're saying, well, it's an important role that should be played by anybody. Well, it's either one or it's the other. But one thing they never suggest is that there should be a new black character, or they should be promoting black characters. Like Black Lightning, they gave him a TV show. Congratulations. Now let's get more. Let's get more black characters out there. So long as they're done right, of course. The article continues, seriously, why not? Bruce Wayne has been a white crime fighter in most Batman comics, using his millions of dollars as a vigilante to safeguard the world. So too is Tony Stark, not to mention Danny Rand, and tons of other characters from both Marvel and DC. And Luke Cage has been black, and so has Black Panther, and so a plethora of other characters. And yes, there are other characters. Point being is, there are characters out there for them to produce. There are movies to be made. Yet, this is what the media talks about, instead of any of these other characters that could be just made into great movies. Or at least pretty decent ones. Modern day, probably it'll be SJW. It's about time we get someone under the cowl who reflects another perspective in the world we live in today. A multiracial melting pot where rich dudes aren't only white. While we're on the topic, one could make the same case for Superman. There are, after all, black farmers in Kansas. But Clark Kent is a white farmer from Kansas, so instead of changing the race of one, why not bring up a new character? Somebody who hasn't been a star of their own movie yet. How about Mr. Terrific? Yeah, he's in the Arrowverse, but you can actually do him right the way he is in the comic books. He could even be more wealthy than Bruce Wayne because of his technological developments and what he might have sold around the world. To integrate race in such a way to iconic mainstream superheroes is a great way of getting more buzz around the topic of representation. People of color often don't get considered for big superhero casting because when the characters were created, the industry was run by white people making white characters, and the drive to change hasn't typically been strong. Another noob calling the comic book industry racist. Thank you very much. But no. And how about... that's not representation, that's presentation. Hey, look, a black man can play Batman. We know this. But how about instead of presenting a black man and virtue signaling, how about representing them by doing that with actual black characters, bringing them out, giving them their own identity instead of riding the coattails of a white man? Luckily, though, that has been changing in comics. We've seen many different Superman, many different races. Oh, gosh, it's hard to get through this. Like the recent new Superman of China, we have also had a black Captain America in films. Everyone from Valkyrie and Electro at Marvel to Catwoman at DC have been recast with actors of color, as seen most recently with Warner Brothers casting native Hawaiian actor Jason Momoa as Aquaman. I did not know Hawaiian was a race. I have learned something new here today. Just saying. That being said, when I saw Jason Momoa, a lot of the people I talked to were more about, oh, okay, they're bringing in the hook-handed, long-haired Aquaman. They weren't actually saying, oh, they changed that is something that the racists on the left point out all the time. Because I think they only think in terms of race. While an exploration of the other might be ingrained in the Aquaman mythos, a similar casting into the Batman role wouldn't just be bold experiment, it would also afford the character new avenues of narration, or narrative exploration, if nothing else. The potential for fresh storytelling with that new perspective would be enticing for many fans of the character. I'm not sure it is. Of course, I'm not a racist, so I don't think this way, but I would think that people with similar experiences would act in a similar way. You know, if you were born rich, you would act as if you were born rich. But they're saying because Batman could be a black man, then he would be different because he would be born rich and black, and therefore everything would be different instead of having the same experiences as Bruce Wayne, except for the color of the skin. At the same time, there's precedent for a Batman of color within DC Comics continuity. Take Luke Fox, a.k.a. Batwing, for example. He is the rich, scientific genius son of Lucius Fox, armed with cutting-edge suit of armor. There is also the French-Algerian Brial Asselian, also known as Night Runner, the Batman of France, and Jiro Asama, a.k.a. Mr. Unknown, the Batman of Japan. Yes, and none of them are Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne is Bruce Wayne. Let him be. As a matter of fact, wouldn't it be kind of an insult to turn Lucius Fox into a white guy? Why not just do a Batwing movie? Or do those characters and just make sure that, hey, this is the Batman of France. This is the Batman of China. Let these characters have their own identity. And if they're strong enough, they'll resonate with people and people will want to see them more. Stories about these heroes or any other international Batman of color introduced in Batman Incorporated would be fantastic, but putting a person of color in the main Bruce Wayne Batman role would be the most impactful, and it could be done easily. And who would ever want to promote an original black character? Or who would ever want to promote a black character that has existed before and put him in the A-list for once, like they did with Iron Man? It's good to do with a white man, but you can't do it with a black man. Can't do it, because that would be racist somehow. Man, these people, these are the real racists right here. I'm telling you. I've said this before. I'll say it again. They think in race. They just don't understand how racist they are. Right or wrong, the decision to cast Batman as a person of color would be immense, especially on the big screen. Michael B. Jordan as a black Superman would be fantastic, as would having a female Captain America, but perhaps the best place to test such a move with an audience is on television. Well, there is an original black Superman, so why not use him? Why not, was Val-Zod? Why not use him? I know sometimes I get the name mixed up. Is it Zon or Zod? Zod. Okay. Anyway, yeah, use him. That would be awesome. That would be fan-freaking-tastic. But it's not Clark Kent. Let an original character be. This is the message I'm going to be giving right here. That's what I really believe, and that's where I think they fall anyway. They falter because they think that a black man or a black superhero cannot exist on its own. Yet we just had Black Panther, so I just do not understand the argument anymore when it's been proven that an original black character, that kind of property, can kill it at the box office. It's the #1 superhero film of all time, and they're talking about regressing. They are the true racist. Anyway, what do you think, guys? That's my opinion. Let me know in the comments below. You agree, disagree? There you go. Also, if you like this video, click like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And if you don't mind helping out the channel, go on over to Patreon. Drop $1 in the till. Help us keep the lights on and help us keep making videos for you. I'd like to thank everybody who's already done that. And to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.